a be healthy video for the summer because I know in the summertime everyone wants to have a beach body and feel better and look better because school's out and you have so much more time to dedicate to yourself rather than studies and tests and quizzes. So I thought I would make this video today just to give you guys some tips and to also remind myself of why I'm doing this. So I wanted to also put a disclaimer up there that I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a fitness expert, so these tips are simply my opinion only. They're not 100% accurate maybe for everybody, but they work for me, and that's why I'm trying to share them with you guys because they might work for you too. So the first thing I wanted to address is fitness because I enjoy fitness, I enjoy working out, I enjoy doing things active. I'm not going to run a marathon for fun, but I like doing little things, and I think it's really important that people know that being fit and healthy is a combination of fitness and diet because without the one or the other, you're not going to succeed, or maybe it'll be a lot more difficult to reach your goals. But I want to also stress the fact that you can work out at home or at the gym. You don't have to get a huge membership. You don't have to do like a personal trainer. You don't have to do any of those huge things in order to get your body the way you want it. So I also want to show two videos that I've purchased at Walmart. This one is The Biggest Loser, the Workout Cardio Max. And this one is Jillian Michaels' Ripped in 30. So I wanted to show these two because it's a mix of doing cardio and muscle workout, so then together hopefully they will work. And in about a week I'm going to do a review on these two. I haven't started using them yet. I've been waiting for Monday to come. Today's Saturday, so I'm waiting for Monday to come so I can start out on a first day of the week and hopefully see how these work. So another thing, you don't have to do huge things like this. You can do yoga, you can do Pilates, anything for you that works because I'm not flexible, so yoga for me would not be the best option, or Pilates, but I do love doing not hardcore, but the harder workouts because I like being challenged. So I also want to stress that, I keep saying also want to stress a lot. I'm sorry. I want to tell you guys that I think it's best to work between 3 and 5 times a week. I know some people are like, I'm going to work out every day, but for me, it's not always practical. I have 2 jobs. I did have school, but not anymore. And plus, some people just want to sleep in sometimes. So we're trying to work out around 3 to 5 times a week if you want the best results. And keep them between 30 to 45 minutes a day, because if you're doing 2 hours a day, then that might be a little bit much. You might hurt yourself, and that will just put you back at square one when you've recovered. So I also want to talk about working out, what's the during the day. It can help you stay energized and stay awake, and overall it's just a better idea. So let's get into the diet portion. I just want to tell you guys, I am not an innocent person when it comes to having a healthy diet. I love sweets, I love chocolate, I love burgers on a good day, I love pasta, I love carbs. So I'm not going to try to tell you guys to eat the perfect diet because that's the only way you're going to get results, because it's really not. To have a healthy balance of having your fats and carbs is really important, but you want to customize it for you and make sure it's practical for you to abide by. You want to make sure you're making realistic goals, because if you're doing something that's saying, in my case, never eat chocolate again, no, it won't happen. It won't ever happen because I love it so much, and I could not live without sweets because it would just be a sucky life to not ever have chocolate again. I don't even want to think about it. But you also want to make sure you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and healthier foods that can keep you from gaining all that weight from eating a ton of, let's just say, junk all the time. You can't eat McDonald's every day and expect that with a good workout routine, you're going to get fit really fast. If you can, God bless you, because I could never do it. But you want to make sure that you're eating breakfast. That is a really important thing. Never, ever, ever, ever skip breakfast. It helps your metabolism run during the day, and it's just a good idea. You want to make sure you've got that brain food to make sure in the morning when you're the most fatigued and the most tired that you want to stay awake. And I happen to love breakfast foods. I like cereals and pancakes and toast, and all that jazz. So usually what I do for breakfast is I eat 2 pieces of wheat toast with peanut butter on them. I prefer crunchy peanut butter, but it's whatever you like. I like having it after workout because it's a mix of protein, so it'll really get you going during the day. But if I have a cereal, this one is my favorite. This is the Special K Vanilla Almond. And I don't know, out of all the cereals, this is my favorite. I tried the chocolate. As a chocolate lover, you would think I would like it, but it's fake chocolate. To me, it was not good. The red berry is good too, but sometimes for me it can be a little tart, I guess you can say. So I really like the vanilla almond kind, but any kind of cereal, you don't want to eat like Reese's Puffs or Cookie Crisp, and you want to make sure that it's well balanced and it's practical for being a good weight loss or body toning tool. And you also want to acknowledge that the small changes you make in your diet can really help. You don't want to change your diet completely because it's not going to be comforting for you. You want to make it a gradual process and realize that like how one person can make a difference, taking one piece of chocolate out of your day can really make a difference, in my opinion anyway. And another tip is to make sure you are snacking. People say I have 6 small meals a day, I think it is. I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then I have a snack between breakfast and lunch and dinner. I usually don't have a midnight snack. Sometimes I will, so usually for me it's 5. You want to make sure they're under 200 calories if you can, and try to make it as healthy as possible. Even have some fruit, and I like apples and peanut butter. That's a good mix of protein and fruit. And I also like these Special K. I sound like I'm advocating Special K, but I promise I'm not. This is a box of the cracker chips. These are the sea salt kind, and these are really good. They're very light to eat, and I think 13 of them is 110 calories, which it might not sound like a lot, but if you eat it slowly, it can really fill you up. And even if you want to split that serving in half and have some ranch dressing dip, or I don't really know what else you would have with those, be creative. So yeah, I would really recommend snacking because it'll prevent you from having a huge meal because you're so hungry and you're like, I'm starving, I'm going to have a huge dinner. And that might not be the best option. And speaking of big dinners, I would really recommend having a bigger lunch and a smaller dinner than the other way around. And I know in America we're used to having a little, like a wrap and fries or something for lunch, or a peanut butter and jelly from home, and then a huge like spaghetti dinner, or chicken, or beef, or something like that, when really the Europeans have it right. You should really have a bigger lunch and a smaller dinner because for your metabolism, it's going to be a lot better, and it's a lot easier to work off a bigger lunch when you have a bigger amount of time during the day. Then when you're eating at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night, you're only going to have maybe 4 or 5 hours to burn that off. And it's usually not possible because I know after my dinners, I like to relax and watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy and read and go to bed. So I'm not really doing anything to work off that dinner. So you want to make sure you're eating a light dinner, but make sure it also does fill you up at the same time. And another thing that I would like to say is make sure you do have your indulgences. For me, I've already said it's chocolate, but for some people they like salt more than sweets, and you want to make sure that you're having part of that in your diet because when you neglect yourself from eating all of that, it just makes you want it more. Like when your mom says, don't date that boy, now you're like, I need him. It's just how we work. It's how humans work. When you can't have something, you want it more. So make sure, like I make sure I have 1 serving of chocolate a day. Sometimes it's 2, depending on what I have available. But you really make sure you're having what you want because it'll make you happy. And if you're not happy with your diet, you're not going to continue it most likely. And you want to make sure that you're doing something for you and that it's working for you. And doing something for you also leads into the next topic, which is to make sure you're psychologically healthy and happy in the summer because it's bright, it's fun. You want to make sure you're having a good time. And I know that taking a little bit of time out of every day to do something I enjoy is seriously worth it. I'm not used to being able to read a lot during the school year because you're studying until 1 o'clock in the morning, or you're hanging out with your friends, and you're talking, and you're giggling and laughing and all that stuff. If you live in the college life, you should know what I'm talking about. And if not, then maybe we're just weird. I don't know. But you want to make sure that you take a little bit of time to do something you like. I love taking baths at night. For me, they're relaxing. My boyfriend says, you're just sitting in your own filth, like you're disgusting. But I like them. They're relaxing, and putting some bubbles in there, hello. And I also, as I said, enjoyed reading again. And I love reading. To me, I've always loved it. Some people are like, ew, I would rather read a magazine. I could read a magazine every night. I don't care. Just make sure you're doing something you really like, because if through this entire process of diet and exercise, if you're not happy, you're just not going to want to continue it. You want to make sure you're happy. And by eating better, your skin might be better, your hair might be better, you'll just be feeling so much better overall that it's worth it. You might not get your body the way you want it to, but in your state of mind, if you're happy, then all of it's going to seem worthwhile, and you're going to want to just continue it more. So those are my tips for having a healthy summer, and thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or any other tips that I didn't mention and you want to mention them, put them down below, and I'll be sure to read them and take them to heart, because I also need all the help I can get. I'm not perfect. And I really want to try to have a good summer. So have a good summer, guys. Make it healthy. Bye.